USA Radio Network's John Clemens tells us about the factors for the increase.
Concerns over the sanctions against Iran that will take effect in about a month, and that OPEC has failed to act to increase production from other producers. Patrick DeHaan is with GasBuddy.com.
The national average is up 4.5 cents per gallon in the last week and currently is holding at about $2.91 a gallon across the U.S. That's the highest tally we've seen since mid-June and comes on the heels of oil prices that remain near a four-year high at about $75 a barrel.
I'm John Clemens.
President Trump is set to deliver remarks today at the International Association of Chiefs of Police annual convention down in Orlando, Florida. The president is traveling with Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, and the two had a lengthy conversation on the way down to Florida. This is USA Radio News.
Las Vegas. Do you have a taste for Chicago-style pizza? The world-famous Giordano's Pizza has arrived. Voted Chicago's best pizza by NBC, the New York Times, and Chicago Tribune, Giordano's famous stuffed pizza and hand-stretched thin-crust pizzas will have you feeling like you're in the Windy City. Giordano's has two Las Vegas locations at Boca Park and Las Vegas Boulevard in front of Bally's Hotel and Casino. Visit them online at Giordanos.com for a real taste of Chicago.
Hi, this is Stacy, one of the owners of Style House. We are a trendy new boutique salon located at West Flamingo and Torrey Pines. We would like to invite everyone down for our grand opening celebration on October 13th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Come see the salon, meet the stylist, and join us for refreshments and raffles. Our grand prize will be a pair of Las Vegas Golden Knights tickets for the October 16th game against the Buffalo Sabres. Join us on Saturday, October 13th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Style House. See you there.
Are you looking for a fun and inexpensive activity for the entire family? Check out Big Valley Wrestling at their monthly events right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Local, exciting professional wrestling and fun for the whole family with bounce houses for the little ones and a full bar for the adults. Big Valley Wrestling is a perfect afternoon for all ages. Check out their Facebook page at Big Valley Wrestling for all their upcoming events. See the stars of tomorrow perform live at Big Valley Wrestling today. Big Valley Wrestling, feel the rush.
George Wallace. George.
Come on and make me jump, George Wallace.
Cash for gold. You seen the one cash for gold? Let me get this straight. Now, you want me to go to my room, get all my gold together, put it in an envelope, take it down to the mailbox, and send my gold to somebody I don't even know. Cash for gold sent me a check for $500. Well, you sent them $7,000 worth of gold, you stupid idiot.
George Wallace. George.
Come on and make me jump, George Wallace.
Vegas like it used to be.
George Wallace, nightly, 8 p.m. at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino.
The thoughts and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program's participants and do not necessarily represent those of station staff, management, and advertisers.
Are you looking for someone to provide training to your sales staff? Do you need a motivational speaker about how to handle change? Do you have an upcoming event that needs an MC to handle those responsibilities? Well, look no further than longtime Las Vegas radio personality Aaron Phillips. I am local to Las Vegas, and I can blend my talents with any audience. For more information, please visit www.aaronphillipsvoice.com and book me for your next event or training needs.
It's that time. It's time for Aaron's Hour.
Aaron's Hour.
Your source for information, inspiration, motivation, and fun. If you're looking to talk politics or religion, this show's not for you. Aaron's Hour.
Aaron's Hour.
Conversations with the opinion makers, movers and shakers, risk takers, and your phone calls at 702-221-7283. That's 702-221-SAVE. Aaron's Hour.
Aaron's Hour.
Hosted by longtime Las Vegas broadcaster, author, motivational speaker, and member of the Las Vegas Entertainers Hall of Fame, Aaron Phillips. In seminars across the country, he's inspired and motivated thousands. Now, he's going to inspire and motivate you. And he'll do it with passion, style, and his trademark sense of humor. Now, here is the host of Aaron's Hour, Aaron Phillips.
And good morning, Las Vegas. Welcome to Aaron's Hour, KSHP AM 1400. This is Danny, along with Aaron's very special fill-in guest today. We're very excited to have him on. You guys might have seen some of his art around town. Neal Portnoy. Hello, Neal. How's it going?
Good, Danny. How are you?
Doing great.
You know what? Aaron searched all over Las Vegas for someone
to do his show that looked like him.
Right.
And brothers from different mothers, I was elected.
I think you nailed it. I think you got it.
Hey, we have a very special guest today filling in for Aaron. Leslee Rogers. Let me give you a little background on Leslee. She served as the Public Relations Officer for the Salvation Army, Southern Nevada, for nearly 4 years, leaving in April 2015 to return to Arizona with her husband, Chaplain Ron Rogers, who was fighting cancer. Following Ron's passing in December of that same year, Leslee remained in Arizona. She continued to stay in touch with friends, media contacts here in Vegas during that entire time. Well, in January of this year, Leslee received a call from Major Randy Kinnaman, Clark County commander, along with his wife, Major Cheryl, for the Salvation Army, Southern Nevada. He asked if she'd consider a move back to Vegas and reassume her position with the Salvation Army. After some negotiations, the one-day sale, don't we all love that, of her Arizona home, indicating the apparent insistence of the Lord, Leslee has made the move back to Las Vegas and resumed her position with the Salvation Army. Ladies and gentlemen, donor and PR director for the Salvation Army, Southern Nevada, and our fashion show moderator, welcome Leslee Rogers.
I forgot that little piece about there was a fashion show in the spring, and when I met the women from our women's, by the way, hi Neal.
Leslee, how are you? We get to do this
so
again,
good.
and we're not in some kind of networking group. We're actually doing Aaron's show.
I know.
Which, for all of the listeners out there, is a tremendous show, very informative. And like Aaron said, if you want to talk religion and politics, take a hike.
Go somewhere else.
Right.
Although a little religion may slip in just because God moved me back to Vegas. You can't deny that.
Hey, I saw a show last night on TV. First time I had ever seen it was God Texted Me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brand new. I haven't seen it yet.
Let me
Is it
tell
fun?
you something. It's a tremendous show.
I think I've got it on my DVR.
Well, you got to watch it. Hey, Leslee, I wanted to talk about a few things. My bullet list here. We want to talk, first of all, listen, I don't do sound effects. I would like to go ding ding with the bell. I think you may have even
I downloaded one, but I haven't heard this one yet because I couldn't find the one I used to have. So let's see if
But everybody out there, our listeners, all see the little bell and you ring and put money in, and that's, let me tell you, that's 3%, if that, of what the Salvation. Hey, there it is. A little different than the bell that rings.
It is. It's not my little dingy bell. But.
Hey, let me ask a couple things, Leslee. Christmas Angel Partnerships. Listen, I moved to Las Vegas 2.5 years ago from the East Coast, and one of the things that we do here in Vegas, which is extremely important, is we talk about partnerships. Why don't you share a little bit about the partnerships?
Well, everything we do is a partnership. So much of what happens with the Salvation Army is supported by our incredible Las Vegas community. And one of the things that we do every year is we provide 2 toys or 2 gifts for children from newborn through age 14 for families who could not go out and buy Christmas presents for their kids.
Now, how do you distribute? Other than people reading?
Really fun. So we invite, of course, our ongoing clientele to come in and register their families so their kids get Christmas toys. We also promote it in opportunities like this,
right,
and among my networking community. And I'm always talking about, if you know anyone who needs help, first thing they do, they go to 1581 North Main Street, which is our family services office. It's just south of Owens on Main.
Okay.
Across the street from the back of Catholic Charities. So everything happens up in that
it's right
corridor
in
of
that
hope.
Whole circle area.
Corridor of Hope, we call that, yes.
Sure.
So they can register there. We need evidence that they live in a house, so we can use a utility bill or a lease or something like that. And then evidence that those kids are their kids or that they are guardians of those children.
Let me ask you a question. Because a lot of people are hurting. We all know that.
Right.
If they have lack of transportation to get there, how would they do it? Contact a friend? Is there a phone number they can reach out to for
Not really, not for transportation, but they can come. They don't have to bring everyone with them. They can come alone, so they can come on a bus when the kids are in school, or find a friend that also needs assistance.
And there's a bus
somebody
stop.
has a card. There's a bus stop right there.
Right there, perfect.
Absolutely.
Hey, I wanted to also touch base.
By
Go
the
ahead,
way,
go
one
ahead.
quick thing: we do not ask about their income. We would hope that people only come if they really have a need. We
Sure.
have seen people coming in cars better than you and I drive, but we would hope that that wouldn't be the case.
And listen, you can't control that.
And sometimes people come in cars better than you and I drive because they used to be able to afford that car, and now that's where they live. So there are lots of extenuating circumstances, but income is not something we require as defining who gets help and who does not.
Now, talk to me about back in September 11th, there was a fire at the adult rehab center. You know, it left the main building inhabitable, and you're still in need of underwear, socks, toiletries.
Socks and underwear for those men because they basically lost everything. But that's been, you know, fortunately that's 4 weeks ago. I think they're only about 4 weeks from being able to move back into the building.
Okay.
They're actually already able to use that kitchen. That only took about 10 days or 2 weeks before they were able to use the kitchen. We put our mobile kitchen on that campus, and the men were moved. They stayed on our homeless campus for just 3 or 4 nights while we got another empty building habitable for them and moved all their beds in there because the beds were metal, so they were fine, and the mattresses are essentially vinyl covered, so wash them off,
Sure.
let them dry, and we can use them again.
Let's talk a little bit about, you know, your title at the Salvation Army. I mean, you know what? We wear many hats.
We do.
And I'm sure you cross over, you know, responsibilities that, okay, here's my job description, my job title. You know what? I do much, much more. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, I always used to say, or I still say, the uniforms that you see, who are the officers of the Salvation Army, who are, by the way, trained ministers. They go through our seminary, which we call our Salvation Army Training College, which is in California. They are the ministers for the Salvation Army churches, because we are also a church in addition to being a social service agency.
Not too many people know that.
Not too many people know that. When General Booth, William Booth, started the Salvation Army in London in 1865, so 150 some years ago, 153 years ago, he saw the need for helping those people on the street that needed help.
Sure.
And he developed the soup, soap, and salvation.
Little alliteration.
Alliteration, yes. He developed that process. So bring those people in, make sure they're fed, make sure they're clean and have clean clothes to put on, because those are just basic human needs. If anybody's seen Maslow's pyramid, they know
Correct.
that those
Yep.
are the very basic, broadest needs that people have. And then once they feel safe and secure and clean and fed, then they can hear that the Lord actually has a great life
So that's
plan
basically
for them.
like your mission statement, I
That's
mean, for the
exactly
Salvation
it.
Army. Yeah.
So they go hand in hand, and our mission statement basically is to share the love of Christ by meeting human needs without discrimination. We never ask someone where they go to church, what they believe in, what their politics are, who they love. We don't care. If they have a need,
You're there for the help.
we meet the need, and if we can't meet the need, we know who can through those other partners that we work with in the Corridor of Hope and in other places around town. So we will then refer them to someone that can do what they need if we can't do it.
Now, you're also doing a lot with KSNV Channel 3, with warming adults, with coats, blankets, gloves, hats. Talk a little bit about
We
that.
have a wonderful program that we've done for years with Channel 3. They've been terrific to us. And this year, the Warm Souls program will run from November 21 through November 30. I'm still waiting to hear who those sponsors are going to be, because I believe we're going to have 2 this year. And so at whatever those sponsors or whoever those sponsors are at their locations, people will be able to drop off coats.
Sure.
It used to be just for adults because we had a program called Coats for Kids. We don't have the opportunity to do Coats for Kids this year. So we're going to have people drop off coats for everybody. And the children's coats will go to Family Services and be distributed to those families we work with.
It's great.
Ongoing.
You know, I got to tell you, because, you know, the weather here in Nevada in the last couple of days, can I use the word cool? Look, I'm from New England.
Yeah.
It took me 2.5 years of living here now in Las Vegas to understand that my blood had finally thinned, and I'm getting cold. Right. And, you know, people who are in need, you see the homeless in the summer, you see them every season that we have here in Nevada. Just to be able to be a resource for them to provide, to make a life that they have, which is very, very difficult, a little bit more bearable, I think is a tremendous program. And the fallacy people have is that they really don't understand, other than that little bell ringer, what the Salvation Army does. And as the public relations director, I'm sure part of your responsibilities is educating, and you're doing that through networking groups. We both belong to a couple networking groups, and just getting the word out there to get people to understand that we're much more than that little bell ringer.
Exactly. We touched very briefly on our rehab. Our rehab is free, and it is a 6 to 12 month live-in work therapy, group therapy, individual therapy program based on the 12 steps, and it is absolutely free to everyone who participates. It's open to men and women aged 21 to about 62-ish, only because the men work on our dock with furniture and other things that have been donated.
Sure.
Most of the women are in the warehouse sorting and going through the bric-a-brac and making sure it's not broken and doing all those kinds of things.
Let me ask you a question. Let's role play this scenario. You know, I'm someone in need. I have 2.3 kids. My situation, and nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors. Everybody's hurting. You know, I don't know where to go. I've heard of the Salvation Army. Is there a number they can call?
The very first line of defense is our main office number, which is 702-870-4430. And our receptionist, God bless her, Ms. Wilma, will direct someone to whatever their needs are and to the part of the organization that will help them. But they can also, if it's a family that is living in a home but running out of money before they run out of month, and they need help with food, or they may need this month, they may need utilities assistance or other things, the phone number for that is our Family Services Office, which I mentioned on North Main Street.
Can we mention that again for the people that are listening that want to write this down?
Right. So 1581 North Main Street is where they can go, but if they want to call first to see if we in fact have utilities money or rental assistance money, we always have the food pantry. But if they want to call and find out what they need to bring in order to get those services, the phone number is 702-649-8240. 702-649-8240 for Family Services.
Well, I think we're getting all of this information, tremendous information. We're going to go to a little break. We'll come back with Aaron's Hour right after the break.
Do you wake up every day with little aches and pains? Or worse yet, were you injured in a car accident? Were you injured just getting out of bed? If you said yes to any of the above, then you need to call Drs. Danielle Buddha and Jody Altman from the Centennial Wellness Center. Located in the Northwest Centennial Hills area, Dr. Buddha and Dr. Altman make sure that every treatment provided is tailored to your specific aches and pains. The entire staff is dedicated to making sure that the finest chiropractic care is given to each and every patient. Call 702-458-2225 to schedule your free consultation. Centennial Wellness Center, 702-458-2225.
Hello, I'm attorney Dan Allen, and I represent clients in personal injury, divorce, child custody matters, DUI cases, as well as warrants and tickets. Please give me a call for a free consultation. If you're injured in an accident, you're getting a divorce, then you need to contact an attorney as soon as you can. Unlike some other attorneys, when you meet with me, you're gonna get me. You have access to your actual attorney, not some paralegal who doesn't understand your case or needs. And I take pride in the personal service that I offer my clients and getting to know you and what you need from an attorney. Please call me anytime at 702-576-9885, or you can visit my office at 8430 West Lake Mead Boulevard, Suite 100, 89128. Whether you're in an accident, get arrested, or your spouse has cheated on you twice, remember, I'm the guy that protects your rights.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. We're here at Aaron's Hour. Talking with Leslee Rogers. Leslie is the PR officer for the Salvation Army Southern Nevada. Great conversations. We left off with talking about the coach situation partnership with Channel 3. Leslie, I want to talk a little bit about the partnership you have with Zappos. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh my gosh, they're such an amazing organization. And one thing I'll mention really quickly, and then I'll talk about the events we have coming up. But Zappos, as a matter of course now, when they get new employees, part of their orientation is to come and serve our community meal, which we do 365 days a year from 1:30 to 2:30 for the people on the street that need a good hot meal. And so every few weeks we'll have several people from Zappos come and participate in that. But everybody can do that.
The average age at Zappos, I think, is 17. I don't know.
I think it's 12.
It's unbelievable what Tony Shea has done over there at Zappos.
Oh my gosh, they're an amazing partner. So several times a year, prior to holidays, because they don't do anything faith-based.
Right.
But so in the spring, they do a spring dinner the week before Easter, and have families come and they pass out. They give them a ham and yams and potatoes, and most of it canned, but the meat is fresh, and a bag of potatoes and homemade rolls to take with, like take and bake kind of rolls, and a pie and the whole thing. So that was then. Now coming up for Thanksgiving, the week before Thanksgiving, so I believe the dates are the 14th and the 16th of November. They will, and all of the people that are invited to do this come again through our family services.
Sure.
And they will pass out complete Thanksgiving meal, frozen turkey, a box of mashed potatoes or au gratin potatoes, a bag of potatoes, bread, gravy, stuffing mix.
Everything they need.
Everything they need. A pie, everything they need. And then we have a little fair for the kids. So they have a petting zoo, and they do face painting, and they do crafts for the kids while mom or dad go through the line and get the dinner.
We talked during the break when my wife Dorothy and I first 2.5 years ago moved to Vegas. It was, Thanksgiving came, and we didn't know anybody in Vegas. So we hooked up with an organization that fed the homeless, and we served Thanksgiving dinner. And the same thing you were talking about with Salvation Army. There were people, you get your hair cut, you get this done. Listen, just to feel better, to feel accepted, to put a different mindset in people that aren't as fortunate for whatever reason.
Right.
To enjoy what we just take for granted, I think is great. We talked earlier also, and I want to get into the veteran services because I know the Salvation Army does a lot. Listen, I'll say it again. They don't just ring a bell. Talk a little bit about veteran services.
We have a complete program, actually 2 or 3 programs, again at our homeless campus, which is 35 West Owen, so just west of Main Street, going up the hill on the south side of the street. There's a 5-acre campus where we do lots of different things. And the veteran services program there, and there are, as I said, 2 or 3 of them that are encompassed in our overall veteran services. But we have transitional housing in dorm-style facilities for about 75 men. We are in the process of finishing the rehab on one of our buildings, which will house 42 additional veterans.
Is there a time limit on how long they can stay there?
It depends on the program.
Okay.
And depends on what their situation is. Our vet services is so well thought of and so well funded by government because we do what we say we're going to do.
Sure.
We actually have a VA employee case manager, several of them, who are housed right on our campus in our program, in addition to our own case managers that work with those vets. So we make sure that they're getting all the benefits that they are entitled to. We make sure if they're in a position to go back to work, that we help them find a job through our vocational training program. We help them find permanent housing once they get situated and established and are able to do that. So, and then we also have apartments on our campus. So once they get through their initial programming, if they're not quite ready to be on their own, we can move them into one of those apartments. They pay 30% of their net income for their rent, plus $15 a month for utilities. And they're in, you would know this because you're from back east too, like a junior one bedroom.
Sure.
Where there's a little living area and a pony wall and a bedroom and a full-size bathroom and a kitchen with full-size appliances and a little table and chairs. So
What about the,
it's really
the
cute.
vocational end of it? Talk about a little bit about. I know we talked about Seeds of Hope, and listen, there are unbelievable amounts of programs. Again, the educating process.
That's my job.
You know, listen, we are Salvation Army. This is who we are. This is what we do. Are you aware that we also do this?
Right. So on that same campus, as part of our what we call the continuum of care. So someone comes in homeless. First, we have a case manager right in our homeless day shelter. So she will meet with everyone who is willing to meet with her and essentially do a triage, ask them basic questions. Are you a veteran? And then she can immediately siphon them off into the veterans programming. Do you have an addiction issue? We have an amazing rehab, and it will cost you nothing if you are willing and able and ready to be clean and sober. We'd like to see if we can get you a bed there or have you here waiting, and as soon as a bed opens, move you there. At the same time, you don't have any of those issues, but you just lost your job and you'd like to be retrained and go back to work. We have a vocational program which will help you do that. We will help determine how you're hardwired and what you should be doing for a living. Maybe you weren't
That's important.
doing what was really your hot button, and you need to figure out what that is. So our vocational training staff is encouraged, of course, to help them figure out what it is they should be
What's
doing.
the timeline? Is there a timeline that they go through all of these?
Depends, again, on what their needs are, what their training, what training they go into. We have things like HVAC and plumbing and semi-truck driving, and those are, the truck driving school is a much shorter term. We have, in conjunction with College of Southern Nevada and the Department of Education, Training, and Rehabilitation, DETR, as it's called, we do a vocational training program, and we take 15 students in the fall and in the spring and put them through 2 classes at CSN.
That's great.
They can live with us, or they may have their own home, and they may not need to live with us. They go through that training. They also volunteer in our kitchen, which serves 1,000 meals a day, and they learn their skills at school. They do their homework, and they can practice those skills in our kitchen. And in 10 weeks, they get basically a certificate, and they can go to work. And probably 97 to 98% of the people that go through that program have a job before or within a couple of weeks of their graduation.
If you've got a referral program with existing employers.
We work with the hotels. MGM has been spectacular in that partnership again. We also work with the national parks. A lot of them go to Zion or to Bryce or to the North Rim or South Rim of the Grand Canyon and go to work. It's just amazing how many people find jobs through that program.
I know that a lot of people, receive, absorb, sponge, put whatever word you want to put on it, either visually, audibly. Is there anything that the people going through the programs, I'll put that in plural, could look at maybe a wall at Salvation Army, success stories, so they
Actually,
don't feel left out. It's on the
website has success stories on it, and we're constantly working with the leadership in the vocational program and the VETS program and even other programs that we have for some of those success stories, and we videotape those, do interviews with them. We use them on the website, and we also, when we do our annual luncheon every year, we feature 2 or 3 or 4 of those stories at the luncheon.
Let me ask you an outside the box question, because my mind, being this bald dome with steam coming off it, a lot of these, and I don't want to generalize because I've never been one who generalizes anything. But because they're less fortunate, some of the clients, I'll use that word that the Salvation Army deals with, they may not be computer savvy. They may not have the opportunity to have that cell phone that we all just can't live without. Is there a way, and that's why I brought up a visual thing for people coming in that don't have access to the web, excuse me, to our phones, so they can, because they're going to absorb a little bit differently. And I'm thinking marketing, promotions, where there's a wall where they could read a success story that they don't have to go to the web to see.
We don't actually have a wall of fame, so to speak. We do have all of our culinary graduation classes on plaques on a wall.
Okay.
And now there are 39 or 40, or wait, we started in 97 and we do 2 a year. So that means there should be 42 of those already, or the 42nd class is finishing right now.
How do you promote with the people coming in?
Well, that's
that they have access to learn how to do a skill, a trade.
That's what that triage is that starts in the homeless shelter.
Sure.
When our case manager sits down with people and says, tell me about your situation. Are you a veteran? Do you have addiction issues? Do you have something we can help you with? Are you looking to train in and get a new job? These are things that we have available. Let me connect you to vocational, and they will tell you all the opportunities that you have.
It's a great way to go. I'm going to ask our listeners out there, listen, we don't need to do a friend request, but how about a request from somebody that you know that may be in a situation that they're not proud of, they really don't know which way to go. Let's call it our listeners' friend request, that we get out the word that we're listening to Leslee talk about today, that we may, as individuals, have heard for the first time. We didn't. Gee, I didn't know they did that. I don't know they did this. Let's start an online listener campaign where, our listeners can go out there and say, gee, you know what? There's this couple in the neighborhood. I see them walking around. I'm going to go over to them and I'm going to give them the number which I just wrote down. And Leslee, what is that number to reach the Army?
The main number for our Salvation Army here in Las Vegas is 702-870-4430. The number for family services, if there's a need, if their pantry is empty and they've run out of money and it's not the end of the month, is 702-649-8240.
I think we should all write those numbers down, because you know what? You never know.
You never know. And if you know someone who is in need of rehabilitation, drug, alcohol, gambling, opioids, it's a horrible thing to deal with. Families suffer greatly through it for their family member, and a lot of them don't know how to cope. But the number to call there is so easy. It's 702-399-2769, which spells Army. So 702-399-ARMY is our adult rehabilitation center, and it is free for anyone who participates in that long-term program.
So let our listeners understand that we're asking you, at your time, at your convenience, from your heart. Listen, who knows what goes on behind closed doors? No one does. So if we know anybody out there, you've got the numbers which Leslee has provided you. We know very little about who, what, where the salvation. You're learning that today on Aaron's Hour. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be back in a little bit.
To drop off or pick up a package across town, but you don't have time? Did you leave an item in an Uber or friend's house and need it back ASAP? You name it, and we can pick it up and deliver it to any destination in the Las Vegas or Henderson area the same day. Express services are also available. Rates as low as $12. Visit blazingcouriers.com or call 877-371-9817 or text 702-429-7418. That's blazingcouriers.com.
Are you looking for someone to provide training to your sales staff? Do you need a motivational speaker about how to handle change? Do you have an upcoming event that needs an MC to handle those responsibilities? Well, look no further than longtime Las Vegas radio personality Aaron Phillips. I am local to Las Vegas, and I can blend my talents with any audience. For more information, please visit www.aaronphillipsvoice.com and book me for your next event or training needs.
Oh, hello. This is the voice of Killer Cross from Lucha Underground and Impact Wrestling. You are now listening to AM 1400 KSHP Las Vegas. Don't attempt to change your radio dial, because no matter where the time is told, in the end, everybody pays the toll.
We are back. Hour number 3. Listen, it's not hour number 3. It's the
Quarter hour number 3.
Quarter hour number 3. I love it. I'm here with Leslee Rogers, who, as you have been listening to, she is the Public Relations Officer for the Salvation Army, Southern Nevada. Leslie, we've talked and we've touched base on a lot of things. I mean, listen, how do we get all that the Salvation Army does in 1 hour? If you need any more information, you can always visit their website, which is www.salvationarmysouthernevada.org for more information. Leslie, anything else you want to add before I get into my favorite segment, which is, asking you questions about color, favorite movie, all that good stuff? Well, we're going to go there, but I'll let you take the mic for a little bit here.
I'm going to share a little bit more about upcoming things. It is October, which means it's Christmas at the Salvation Army. So, again, we mentioned people in need to provide gifts for their children, and we do 2 toys for children age newborn through 10, and then for 11, 12, 13, and 14-year-olds, we actually give them gift cards, because what do you buy a 12-year-old boy that, besides a football, and you don't know if he plays football,
what
soccer,
you buy him
basketball.
Now is differently than what we bought him 10 years ago.
Exactly. Yep. So we do a $20 or $20 to $25 gift card for Walmart or Target, so they can go and pick out what they want. And we do a $20 Regal Cinema, because they're all over the place more than anybody else.
Sure.
Regal Cinema gift card, so they can take a friend to the movies.
Listen, I'm out there, and there's a zillion charities here in Nevada, in Las Vegas. If I want to get involved with the Salvation Army, but I don't want everybody to know I'm involved, because I'm involved in 20 other different things.
You can go to the website. You can sign up to volunteer. You can donate on the website. Right? There's a red bucket up in the corner. We use it year-round to
Wouldn't it be great
to indicate donations.
Wouldn't it be great if parents out there have children, and one of the chores, let's put that word in quote, that they have their children do is to donate their time as a rewarding experience, to understand that not everybody is on the same level as you.
We have lots and lots of families that bring their kids, I would say 10-ish and up, just because of size.
Sure.
And not getting trampled, and to our homeless meal to volunteer. And because we do 7 days a week, 365 days a year, they can do that on a Saturday or Sunday, and it literally is 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. We serve from 1:30 to 2:30, and they get to serve, and they get to see how other people struggle to survive.
Understand.
Exactly.
Understand.
It's just a picture that they need to see, and we love the fact that we have a lot of parents who bring their kids down.
I know back east, I'm all about kids. That's my whole life is about kids. And I used to donate my time to an organization that was involved with cancer for children. It was the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute for Kids, the Jimmy Fund for the Boston Red Sox. And I used to go into the clinic unannounced, and of course, I do the caricatures and a lot of stuff. And I would entertain the kids, and all of a sudden all the doctors and the nurses would be crowding around. It was this big event, and I'd walk out of there and I would lose it, because that child may not be there the next day.
Exactly.
But then they went corporate. You had to get on a list. You had to be there specific times. Are those restrictions also with the Salvation? Or can you just go in and knock on the door one day and say, hey, you know what, I got 3 hours. I really believe in what, can I help? Are they able to do that?
It depends on what you're doing. If you're going to serve our family meal or our community meal, and it's a one-time or once or twice a year kind of thing, you can do that. We prefer that you just let our volunteer coordinator, Keisha Alderman, know that through that 702-870-4430 main number. You can let her know that you're going to go do that, just so we can let the kitchen know to expect you. And it may be you've selected a date where we have a group of 60 already coming to volunteer.
Sure.
We don't have room. So those kinds of things make that necessary. If someone is going to volunteer long-term, we do a pretty thorough check of them.
Background
And if they're
check,
working with children,
Yep, you
we
have
do
to do
a
it.
very thorough background check, because we also have after-school program 3 days a week at our main office on Palomino, which is right across the street from an elementary school that's a Title I school. And we bring kids in from several schools in the vicinity, but within literally 4 or 5 miles, we go and pick them up and bring them. They get a snack after school. They get help with homework. They get a scouting program. They can learn a brass instrument or guitar or piano or drums. They have crafting projects. They have lots of things going on, and they get dinner before they go home, because it may be the only other meal
That's
they get
right.
besides lunch at school. So we take care of them that way. And then in the summer, we do the same program, but from 11 to 2 in the day, so that they get lunch and a snack. And so those kinds of things, that also needs community support and money.
We're talking about education.
Yes.
You know, listen, education is not just done in our school systems, but it's done in every day of our lives. You know, the old adage, you know, you learn something new every day. I think we are learning a lot about things we did not know or understand about the Salvation Army. And I think it's extremely informative. If we've done anything today, we've planted seeds. And you know me, I'm a seed planter.
Yep, me too.
You know, you plant seeds, you put a little fertilizer on it, you water it, all of a sudden, you know, your tree of hope grows. And you start getting on branches you didn't know existed. And that may turn you in a different direction. There's nothing greater, in my opinion, than giving. Because the more you give, it'll come back 100 times.
Absolutely
towards
true.
you. Hey, I want to get into some crazy things because my mentor, Aaron, or my brother from a different mother,
That's right.
you know, gave me a little cheat sheet.
If you two have never seen these two side by side, I mean, it's mirror image almost, except they wear different
I'm much
glasses.
better looking.
Oh, much, yes.
Thank you, because I could, you know, we won't go there.
But he's taller.
He is taller. He is, and he's lost over 120 pounds.
Yeah, he has.
You should see the other Aaron that's hidden
That's left
somewhere.
somewhere.
Yeah, he's gone. We don't know.
Well, and I'm 4'11" and a half, so both of you are giants to me.
Well,
so.
you know, we talk in our networking groups, and I always pick on you. You know that.
I do.
You know, I'm one of the only people that can be sitting down, and Leslie is standing up, and we are at the same height.
Same size.
Yeah, same size. Hey, favorite song. Tell me, what's your favorite song?
My Girl by the Temps.
Oh, I know it. David Ruffin and the Temptations. Favorite actor?
Possibly Bradley Cooper currently. Old school, of course, was Paul Newman, because I'm an old broad, so.
My wife's is Clint Eastwood. That's her hall pass.
He kind of was. He kind of was until he did Bridges of Madison County.
Oh,
And then
boy.
I went, oh no.
Speaking of Bradley Cooper, did you see A Star Is
I haven't
Born
seen
yet?
it yet. It's
Oh,
on my. It's
getting
did you see
rave
it?
reviews.
I cannot wait. I love Gaga too. I think
Oh.
she's just amazing.
Well, she, you know, people don't understand Lady Gaga. She is an incredible
She has
talent.
an amazing voice. The Tony Bennett album is just
Hey, favorite actress?
probably Julia Roberts or Meryl Streep.
Do you know that Dustin Hoffman, Al Pacino, and Robert De Niro are actually the same person?
Yes.
Think about the movies
Yes.
that they've been in. And you know, when you go, no, that was De Niro, no,
Oh,
that
no,
was
wait,
Hoffman.
that was-
You're
yeah,
right, exactly. Hey, favorite movie?
This is gonna. This is a. Oh, I haven't. My old favorite movie was Casablanca, and then there was a movie called What's Up, Doc, with Barbara Streisand and Ryan O'Neal. One of the best car chases through San Francisco.
Wow.
And the silliest, most inane storyline, but Kenneth Mars is in it, and it's hysterical. And when I met my husband, my late husband, we did one of those, what's your favorite movie? And we both said that, and then we
Wow.
went home and watched it, and oh my, it's just crazy that would be because it's such an odd kind of movie.
My wife
Madeline Kahn was in it. I mean, it's just, you've got to go find it if you
I'll have
haven't
to
ever
find
seen it.
My wife always says to me, do you know this actor or this actress? I said, look, if they didn't used to play shortstop for the Red Sox, I
don't
have no
know
idea
them.
who they are.
Just to give you an idea, at the very end of the movie, they're flying in an airplane, and he doesn't realize she's sitting behind him, Ryan O'Neal, Barbra Streisand. And he turned around and he apologized to her, and she looks at him and she says, love means never having to say you're sorry.
Wow.
From Love Story.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So
That's
it was
right.
just, it was like,
Hey, here's a really weird one.
Okay.
In my opinion, because it kind of touches base with me, but favorite cartoon character and why?
Bullwinkle J. Moose.
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yes, because I had, my nephew now has it, an original by Tex Henson of Bullwinkle holding Rocky.
One of the cells?
One of the cells with my name on it to Leslie from Tex Henson. And it's now, my nephew now has that, and he's getting married. I get to go to Dallas for his wedding in 2 months. So, yes, very exciting.
Now, again, at our age, and I'll put that in quotes again, favorite music?
Well, I will tell you that for the last 20 years, it's been contemporary Christian. That's pretty much what I listen to on my radio is NPR or SOS radio.
I'm not really familiar with that genre.
I know.
But give me a top.
Other than that, well,
give me a
I
singer.
Can Only Imagine.
Yeah.
Mercy Me and people like that. I just love them.
I'm afraid to ask the next question because we get Bullwinkle and Rocky, and we talked about, all right, favorite car?
Probably, I had a Volkswagen Super Beetle that I bought brand new in 1973 when I graduated
One of the old
from
ones,
ASU.
yeah.
And the only problem was I couldn't get bright red. I got the tomato red instead of the fire engine red. But I loved that
I had
little
three
car.
of the buses. I had three of the buses.
My husband had a bus.
And
Not when I met him.
Little background story where I'm doing an art show up in New Jersey, and don't ask me what exit, because Jersey, you talk exits. And it's February, and my sliding door, you know the door, it fell off on the highway.
Ronnie had a Carmen Ghia, too, that he wrecked
Loved the
several
Carmen
times.
Ghia.
Yeah.
And it was freezing because, as we all know, the Volkswagen back then, the heat was horrendous. You couldn't get any heat
And they
in
weren't
these vehicles.
insulated.
And they weren't insulated. So we're driving back to Massachusetts and New Jersey with a buddy of mine, and we put up a sheet over the door. We're just trying to stay warm. Crazy. Favorite vacation destination?
Well, of places I've been, as much as I loved Italy, I had the best time in Costa Rica. And I would live in Costa Rica in a heartbeat.
Were you on the East Coast or West Coast?
Yes. We were everywhere.
You were everywhere because a buddy of
Zip
mine
lines
owns an entertainment. He has a boat. He does tours and Pasky's Adventures. He's lived there with his wife
Is
now
he in
for.
Capos or is he on?
He's on the left-hand side. That's all I know. I'm from New England. You know, right-hand side, left-hand, and he's
Pacific side.
Yeah, Pacific side, and he's been there now. I think probably 25 years, and he swears by Costa Rica.
I loved it.
What did you love about it?
Everything. I loved the people. When we stayed in Capos, we stayed in a beautiful little hotel, and the owner, who used to live in D.C. but was a Netherlander by birth.
Sure.
He was helping to rehab what had been an old farm into a public school. And he took Ron and I and then another couple out to the school to see what he was doing. And on the way back, we were able to stop and take some money out of a ATM and help him with toilets and lights for that school.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was pretty
Nice.
wonderful. And the whole of the island, or the whole of the country in the middle of Central America, it's lush, it's green, it's gorgeous, and then it's beachy, and then it's mountainous. We did zip lines. We
Yeah,
did
but you have
whitewater
mosquitoes
rafting.
that are like 9 inches big, and
Yeah, I'm from Texas. It's a chigger. You put a saddle on it and you ride it. So
you know, I don't
can't
like
go by me.
You know, when Doris and I first moved to Vegas, I said to her, I hate bugs. I hate anything that flies. Right, honey, why don't you research, what the insect life and all that is in Vegas?
Scorpions.
She comes back with scorpions,
And
recluse spiders,
Yeah.
tarantulas, snakes. I said, oh, great, I'm moving. Right, crazy. Hey, favorite meal?
Mexican, almost anything.
So you like it spicy?
I like it spicy.
Can we quote you on that the next business meeting? Leslie likes his spicy. And your favorite leisure thing to do? What do you like to just relax with?
I read. And I read chick lit. Clean chick lit.
What's chick lit?
Chick lit. So women, like not really romance like old historical stuff.
But romance, old historical stuff.
I don't read that. No, I don't read those. I read modern women's literature. Let's put it that way. It's just, things like Danielle Steele and other people. And I love things like Sue Grafton and what's her name that writes the One for the Money, Two for Elaine. I forget. One for the money, two for the dough, and so on and so on. She's fun. Oh,
so if you had a favorite thing here,
yeah.
All right, you read, love Costa Rica, spicy food. So we're going to put Leslie as being very spicy. In Vegas, as you know, you could do something 24/7. You could see all the entertainment in the world every night of the week, every location. What's your favorite Las Vegas thing to do away from work?
Well, my favorite show on the Strip, because the only reason I go down there is if I have friends from out of town and they want to eat somewhere or go see a show. My favorite, I've probably seen it 10 times since I moved here because it opened in the same year we originally moved here in '93, is Mystere. I still think the original is the best.
Haven't seen it, and people have recommended to go see it.
I've seen most of the Cirque shows, and they're wonderful. But I just think that Mystere is terrific.
Now, isn't that the water one?
No, that's O, and that's fabulous.
Okay.
Mystere is at Treasure Island.
Yeah.
And it's kind of circusy. They all are kind of circusy.
They all are, yeah.
But it's just...
a lot of the other Cirque shows have themes to them.
Yeah, and Mystere really doesn't.
Have a theme. It's just a traditional Cirque du Soleil type show.
Yeah.
There's no Michael Jackson element
No.
or
the
Beatles
or
so
the Love.
it's a lot of acrobatics.
Yep.
It's
Mhm.
a lot of high wire type stuff.
Yep, and it's really fun. Ka's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
I saw that. I saw Ka. Dorothy and I saw Ka.
The moving floor wall, whatever, is where they go in and out of it, and the mechanics of what Cirque does. Even the water show, where sometimes it's water and then it comes up and then it's the stage, and everything they do is pretty incredible to see.
How many shows do they now have in Vegas?
1, 2, 3, 10, 9.
Do
8,
they really?
I don't know.
Got a lot. There's Mirage, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's got to be 6 or 7.
Zumanity.
Yeah, Zumanity, New York. There's gonna be about 6 or 7.
Well, I'm getting an
There's
education.
been about a dozen that have come through Vegas.
And then
'cause there
even
was an Elvis one.
and then even I keep hitting the mic. Not a good idea. Even Le Rev.
Yeah.
Those people that did Le Rev used to be part of Cirque.
Right.
So even though it isn't a Cirque show, it's Cirque inspired,
Yeah.
certainly. And even Celine Dion's show.
Yeah.
The mechanics of that and the things that happen with her show.
Chris
maybe
Angel's
her
show is Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque also, yes, I
and
believe.
That's just what's in Vegas. Cirque du Soleil around the
They
world.
travel.
A Canadian-based company.
There's shows
French
that they
Canadian.
run all over the world that are uniquely.
The first time I saw them was in a tent in Phoenix before we ever moved here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, how long were you in Phoenix for?
I went there to go to college.
Yep.
In 1906.
ASU. What are the fork things? The three? Yeah.
Yeah. Here's no.
Li-
Here's
Isn't it like a live long and prosper?
No,
from
no,
Spock,
it's
or-
not. It's this.
All right,
It's-
okay.
It's a fork.
All right, it's a fork.
It's a fork. And so I went to ASU, and I'll date myself. I don't care. January of 1969, I moved to ASU from Chicago.
Okay.
I was there for a year and a half. Graduated early.
2 years before me, but go ahead.
I knew I was older. No worries.
ASU's where they have the Walter Cronkite School of
They
Broadcasting.
do,
right?
but when I graduated from there, it was not yet the Walter
Not yet.
Cronkite School.
The owner of our station, Bill Pollock, he's an ASU alum.
Yep, there's a lot of
See,
us
I was
here.
I was a baseball player, and I applied out of high school to 2 colleges. One was ASU. They were number 3 in the country.
That's right, and we had Sal Bando and Reggie
Sure.
Jackson.
Well, I
and
went to University of Miami.
Wills,
you don't,
so
you don't
you
want,
had-
yeah, I had,
yeah,
you know.
exactly.
So I had a scholarship to play baseball for Coach Frazier at Miami, but ASU didn't want to give me the full boat, so I went to Miami, and
Right.
the rest was history.
Right. But we had, was it Jim Brock still back then? No, it was somebody else. It was.
At ASU?
Mhm.
I don't
I forget his
remember.
name. Yeah, Jim Brock was later.
Yeah, we had Ron Frazier, legendary coach at U Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let's get a little bit back to the Salvation Army. As you know, we're running out of time here, and I'm going to get 3-minute warning. It's better than the 2-minute warning that the NFL gives you. But
but we're in the red zone.
We are in the red zone. Tremendous. If we had to recap in the hour we've been talking, and we've touched upon a lot of wonderful programs that I myself was unaware of that the Salvation Army did. We've tried to get out the word to our listening audience. You want to end with anything? Do you want to throw something in?
I want to throw a couple of other things out. So we've talked about giving help to families that need help, but how do we do that? We do that when companies and individuals do toy drives or adopt angel tags and fill those so that we can then take care of all those families who register for help. So if you know anyone or if you own a business and you'd like to do either a toy drive or give angel tags to all of your employees and their spouses to go shop for these kids, they're not specific. They're more generic tags because when we do our distribution, we set up like a toy shop and we do it by age, and then mom or dad can come and literally pick out the 2 toys that they know their children will like. Not every girl wants to play with a Barbie. She might want a Tonka truck. We don't know that, but mom and dad know that. So we do it by age group, and then not even by sex anymore. It's just by age group, and they're on a table, and then mom and dad get to pick out what works for their kids. And then the older kids, as we said, will each get 2 gift cards. The family also gets grocery cards, so they can buy the fresh produce and milk and eggs and things that go with their meal.
So I'm going to leave it with this thought. I think we all learned a tremendous amount of what the Salvation Army does. We've had a wonderful conversation, probably got to know each other a little bit better.
I think so.
People can reach out to you personally.
They can.
You want to give them, you don't want to give them a number. They can call the Salvation Army. They can see you in networking groups. I want to take this opportunity to thank Leslee.
I want to do the website one more time.
Yeah, the website is
Salvation Army, www.salvationarmysouthernevada.org, 702-870-4430.
And thank you, Aaron Phillips, for allowing me this wonderful opportunity to take your spot here in the seat, give our viewing audience the look that Aaron was actually still here.
Have a great week, everybody.
Touch your head and walk with me. All summer long we sang a song and strolled the golden sand to sweethearts and the summer wind.
It's the Vegas Bowl, Tuesday morning at 10 on AM 1400, KSHP North Las Vegas, and KSHP.com.
USA Radio News.